This is Wickham Sound.
Hello, hello. You're listening to The Art Shot on Wickham Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain. We'll be here for the next hour or so. A little bit of local music. We have an interview each week. We have a section called the Rhylight Zone where we have short stories and that kind of stuff. And we also have a weekly album review from our very own Twangling Jack Ford. As I said, my name's Dane Cobain. You can reach me here on the studio. You can email dane.cobain@wickhamsound.org.uk. That's dane.cobain@wickhamsound.org.uk. And I particularly want to hear from musicians, poets, anybody who does stuff with MP3s, basically. I'd love to hear from you guys. Anything that you think we might be able to share on the show. Also news, that can count as well, and any events that might be going on. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. We also have a Facebook page. You can just go on Facebook and search for The Art Show Wickham Sound. You should be able to find us. And all of the shows are replayed there, here on Wickham Sound on Monday nights. And you can catch up on demand on youtube.com/Dane Cobain on my YouTube channel. And also it's available as a podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and other leading providers. So we always start out with a little bit of news, and today is no different. So I have some news from the mayor, actually. Well, it's from the mayor and from a local artist called Jan Gasker. So I'm just going to read out what we posted from Wickham Arts Centre in support of this. So talented local artist and Arts Centre regular Jan Gasker has kindly donated several of his paintings to the Mayor of High Wycombe 2019-20 Maz Hussein Appeal. The paintings are now being auctioned to raise money for Wickham Women's Aid and Wickham Homeless Connection, both of which work tirelessly to help vulnerable people in the area. It's a great cause with some great artwork for grabs, blah, 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 blah. I would tell you where you can get it, but I think the bidding is now unfortunately closed. But it's just cool to see these things happening, you know. There's also further news from Wickham Arts Centre. So congratulations to our company in residence, Sign Dance Collective International, on receiving the CAT Award for Best Accessible Film for their International Arts Council England funded The Time Project. In presenting the award, Together 2012 CIC said, "We were impressed that in addition to making the final films accessible to the audience, everyone could actively contribute to the company's work, setting a new standard for access. A highly justified award, it recognises the contribution that SDC has made in an area of the arts where, despite great and innovative work, the creativity and talent of artists can remain unacknowledged. We're very excited to bring more of Sign Dance Collective's projects to you in the new year, including at the Hybrid Arts Festival, scheduled for 8th to the 22nd of August 2021. Watch this space." So that's about it for news. We're going to move on to the Rhylight Zone, which is our weekly section dedicated to the creative arts. We try and have like drama, radio plays, all that kind of stuff. So this is The Ploughman, featuring a cast of several of our listeners who all volunteered to take part. There'll be credits at the end, so you can listen out for that. And this is based on a short story I wrote while I was at university, so I kind of repurposed it for radio. So please do let me know what you think. Again, you can email me on dane.cobain@wickhamsound.org.uk or find us on Facebook. So this is The Ploughman. The year of our Lord 1914, on a farm in rural Buckinghamshire.
It's not what it used to be.
Hello there. Have you heard the news?
I haven't.
It's happened. We're at war.
Oh. Is that all?
What do you mean? It's exciting. They say it's going to be over before Christmas. So, I'm sending young Joe to the barracks.
But you'll have no young hands on the farm. What if something happens?
The war will be the making of the boy. Of course, we'll have to hire some help, but it'll only be for a couple of months.
I see.
I say, Jack, why are you outside in this weather? Can't this wait until the morning? This is no time to be bailing. We're at war, don't you know?
What does the war have to do with me? I just don't have the time, Joanne. I just don't have the time.
Jack?
Good evening. What brings you here so late?
Have you heard the news? I've been thinking about it all day. We're at war.
Yes, I know.
I'm signing up tomorrow. Tess will look after the farm, but I suppose I'll have to get a couple of boys in from the village. It's no work for a woman, although I'm sure her father will be happy to help where he can. He used to be a farm boy himself as a lad. It's not ideal, but it'll all be over by Christmas. They'll only have to take care of the harvest. I've trusted them with that before.
I'll keep an eye on them when I can. Who is it? I warn you, I'm armed.
Don't shoot! Please, Jack, it's me! I lost my arm to a German shell, so they sent me home. The fools, I've still got plenty of fight left in me.
I think you'd better come inside. Let's have a nip of whiskey and you can tell me all about it.
A pint of whiskey? Quick, before I fetch my shotgun.
If you're looking for trouble, you can walk out of that door and find somewhere else. I ain't having any violence.
You, sir? You're good for nothing.
What's wrong with you?
I got a letter. It's my son. He's dead. If I wasn't afraid of damnation, I might have done something stupid.
Don't talk like that. Things are never that bad.
He's right, you need to sober up and look at things in the light of day. Is this what your son will want? Kneeling in a ditch, abandoning your family, your farm, your sanity?
I suppose you're right. I need to talk to a priest. Jack, would you be kind enough to walk me home?
You know me, Joanne. Always happy to help.
Evening, Jack. How are things? I hope my wife has provided for you.
Thank you. You're a lucky man.
That I am. So what can I do for you?
I'm struggling. The storm hit us badly. You know all the damage it caused and how hard I've worked to repair it. I've been looking at my supplies and I don't have enough to last through the winter. I'm here to ask whether I can harvest my section of your fields. Normally I wouldn't ask, but...
The problem is, we're both grateful for your help, but we have our son to provide for and times are hard. Perhaps if things were better.
It's all right. I understand.
Didn't Ellison promise a share of her land to you, old friend?
She did. I'll go right over and see her. So what'd you say, Joanne? Do you think you could help me?
I'd love to help you. I really would. But things aren't going well. You've seen for yourself how the crops have failed, and the chickens just aren't laying. I've tried everything. I'm sorry. I'd help you if I could. Didn't you have a similar deal with Slater?
I did. I'll pay him a visit.
The autumn drew to an end, and the winter freeze began. All of the farmers were hungry, but the ploughman's supplies were exhausted. Even his chickens were dead, swallowed with the gruel that sustained him. Now, lying in his bed, too weak to forage for food or to light the fire, he was dying. With an almighty effort, he lifted his head from the mattress and looked over at the wall. The kind faces of his wife and daughter looked down upon him. He tried to reach out to them, but he didn't have the strength. His family stared down at him, immortalised by the canvas, waiting for him to join them. A cold wind blew down through the chimney, and the ploughman sobbed himself to sleep. The breeze cut through his bones, and his valiant heart surrendered to the inevitable. The English sky grew darker. A storm was on its way. The Ploughman, written by Dane Cobain, starring Twangling Jack, aka Dave Ford, as the Ploughman, Suzie Demarco as Ellison, Paul Cooper as Slater, Matt Moon as the barkeep, and Dane Cobain as the narrator. That was The Ploughman, and you're listening to The Art Show on Wickham Sound 106.6 FM, and it is now time for a little bit of music. So I was sent this by Jake Cooper, who is the frontman of the Phenomenauts. We've actually spoken to him previously for one of the episodes on the show, and he's recorded a new tune called Siren Song that he sent us over as a demo. He said it almost made his mum cry, which means it must be good. So this is Siren Song by Jake Cooper.
It's funny how little you can take when the world is bearing down on you. You bend and you break. It's ironic, you who help everyone else, but when it comes to the ones you love, you only blame yourself. I see her, but she never saw me. The truth is I was stranded on an island out at sea. I hear her calling out my name. There's an ocean in between us, so I guess I better stay. And the truth is she haunts me. I see her in my dreams. She tells me all these secrets, but I don't know what they mean. The truth is she haunts me. She sings to me most nights. The lyrics I don't remember, but the melody I recognize. I lost it all when my boat capsized. Isolation to endure, so survivor I surmised. I wish I could take it all back. The anger, the anxiety, but my bags were packed. I threatened to leave too many times. This time you call my bluff with good reason and good rhyme. But I wish you'd hear me out. I feel abandoned and alone, and I'm filled with such doubt. And the truth is she haunts me. I see her in my dreams. She tells me all these secrets, but I don't know what they mean. The truth is she haunts me. She sings to me most nights. The lyrics I don't remember, but the melody I recognize. And the truth is she haunts me. I see her in my dreams. She tells me all these secrets, but I don't know what they mean. The truth is she haunts me. She sings to me most nights. The lyrics I don't remember, but the melody, oh the melody, oh the melody I recognize.
It's just the flu. You hear people say it every year. But if you have a chronic lung condition like COPD, bronchitis, emphysema or asthma, there's no just about it. Flu is a virus that can cause serious complications for you. That's why we give you the flu jab, free. It's your very best protection. Ask your pharmacist or GP today. NHS, we're here to help you protect against flu.
We can get through this if we all pull together. Please stay at home, stay tuned to Wickham Sound for the latest information, and do get in touch with us to let us know how you're doing, if you'd like a song played, or just want us to say hello to you.
The Buckinghamshire Disability Service Buddies are here to help. Are you shielding or self-isolating and feeling lonely or stressed? Need a friendly chat with someone who understands? The Buds Buddies are here to help. Buddies are trained volunteers who will call you regularly for a chat about anything you like. Calls can be by telephone, online messaging, video, even by British Sign Language. Please leave us a message on 01494 211179 or search Buckinghamshire Disability Service online. The Buds Buddies are here to help.
Find yourself a rainbow, find yourself in a pot of gold, and you're there to stay. Anyway, you'll find that you start changing. All you gotta do is take a hold. Things get better day by day, and then you'll know that this time is the right time and the place to be. Pick the flowers, there's no hours. Just remember it crush hours. Find yourself a rainbow, slide on down to the pot of gold. You keep smiling, come on, rain. Take it away, David Buckley. And then young daughter, this time is the right time and the place to be. Pick the flowers, there's no hours. Just remember it crush hours. Climb upon that rainbow. It's on a day and you won't grow old. You can wish your cares away.
That was Find Yourself a Rainbow by Jem Lee. She's one of the members of Slady, which is an all-female Slade tribute act. And before that we had Siren Song by Jake Cooper. You're listening to the Archer on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound. My name is Dane Cobain, and I am about to be joining conversation with this week's guest, who is local lighting whizzkid, Gideon Rainey.
One of the reasons I want to talk to you today is about a lot of the lighting projects you've done, and I wondered, like, what is it that got you interested in lighting in the first place? And can you remember, like, the first show you worked on and, like, when you fell in love with it?
It's been a thing I've wanted to do pretty much my entire life.
Yep.
The first, like, proper show I did was the reopening night at the Arts Centre.
Mm-hmm.
I used the old system that was in the cafe space.
Yep.
And then I got invited to do Atari Lounge. And then through that, I met the Arts Centre team who got me into more events at the Arts Centre.
Cool. And I mean, sort of speaking of the Arts Centre, you've done quite a few events there. Are there any in particular that stand out?
Tankers the Henge last October.
I thought that one.
That was the biggest and best.
Yeah. I mean, how many people do you reckon were there? A couple of hundred, something like that?
I think it was sold out, so it was max capacity at the church space.
Yeah. Cool. And is that like the largest lighting show that you've done?
In terms of people who have seen it, yes,
Yeah.
but in terms of the actual size of the rig and the lights I used, definitely not.
Cool. So what would be the biggest one?
It was, well, the most lights that I've used was 2 filming events that
Yeah.
and some others did this year.
Yeah, and because you worked on as well, didn't you, the Jimi Hendrix Experience? You did the lighting for that as well.
Yeah, I also filmed a couple things there.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So are you billed as like a cameraman as well?
Well, I have been thinking about camera work and sort of if I'm not able to get into lighting, I would love to be a camera operator for things like festivals or even movies.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. And I mean, I suppose it's in some ways it's a similar set of skills. I mean, especially obviously, you know, lighting is a huge part of filmmaking in general. So I suppose in some ways you could almost do both of them, you know, and like be a bit of a hybrid and like step from one to the other. And
yeah, the
cool.
college I want to go to does do video, camera operation.
Cool. And what college is that?
It's the Brit School in London.
Oh, right, yeah, because did you do some, was there an open day or something like that recently?
There was a real life open day last year because Corona wasn't around then, but this year they had to do a virtual open day.
Yeah.
And I went
fair enough.
I'm really glad I went to the one last year.
Do you have like a career path in mind, like how you would get into the industry?
Not exactly. I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I'm not exactly sure how to get into it. I know a couple people high up in the industry, but I don't know if I can get jobs with them or not.
One of the things I wanted to ask about as well was kind of a few of these you've done now. So you've been lighting up the art center space, like for specific things. Yeah. So do you want to tell us about those? Well,
a friend lit up the art centre twice for the NHS, and then so I read about something called the Light It in Red campaign and thought, hey, this is a good idea. Why don't I do it? So I asked Ruth if I could do it. She said yes, and I got 2 other people to help me, supplying cable and more lights, and that happened 3 times.
Yeah. And could well happen again at the rate things are currently going. Cool. So how have you been like keeping yourself sane during the pandemic? Because obviously there's not been live events going. So
the software I use has its own thing called a visualizer.
Oh, cool.
So I can have my setup plus more. So
that's amazing. So I guess you can can you like render those designs out and stuff and like make show reels of like your lighting setups and stuff? Yeah, that's really cool. One thing that I was wondering, you know how everyone's kind of more digital now. I mean, we're talking over Zoom. You know, a lot of people just in business in general are having to make more video calls. Do you have any generic lighting tips that literally anybody could take to make themselves look better?
I guess one would be don't go overboard. If the client asks for a small setup, do a small setup. Don't go overboard. So you mentioned like not going overboard as well. How do you kind of keep yourself under control when you've got a project like, say, the Light It in Red project? How do you stop yourself from going overboard? Oh, I don't know. Actually, it's difficult, but you just got to know when to stop.
Oh, a fun question. If you could like run lights at any gig or for any performer, living or dead, who would you most likely to run a lights show for?
Fairport's Cooperative Convention. That's a festival I've been going to for years.
Yeah.
Everyone sets their own goal. That's my ultimate goal. Whether it's achievable or not, it's my goal.
Sorry, no, you go.
That I'd love to do lighting for. It last year was its last ever one. It's an event called Soul Survivor.
Right. How come that one came to an end?
Well, they just decided they've done 28 festivals, and I guess they thought they'd let some other people.
Yeah, someone else have a go.
You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM at Wycombe Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain. I'm here in conversation with local lighting whizzkid Gideon Rainey, and it's time for a little bit of music. So this is Gay Friend, but it's the Ibiza Party Girls Master by Fabulous Parfait. We've recently talked to Fabulous Parfait on the show. We've played Gay Friend before, but we haven't played the Ibiza Party Girls Master. So over to that.
Well, your man is be cold, it will be cold. Times you shouldn't have to hide, we shouldn't have to hate. Let it be, let it all hang out. Gay friend, my friend. You dress like a cliche, you frame me like a shrink. What would I do without you? I can't bear to think. Gay friend, my friend. You dress like a cliche, you frame me like a shrink. What would I do without you? I can't bear to
This is Wickham Sound.
That was Gay Friend, the Ibiza Party Goals, mastered by Fabulous Parfait. You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain, and I'm here in conversation with this week's guest, who is local lighting whizzkid, Gideon Rainey.
Equipment-wise, I'd written the name down, I've forgotten it again. What are the big lights called again? Okay, right, cool, yeah. Yeah, because I guess, can you let us know a bit about, like, what's some of the equipment that you use?
Okay,
and what do you use it for?
All my equipment's at the church because I'm doing lighting.
Yeah.
But I've got 4 sort of big moving lights. Those are the motorized lights that can sort of spin around. I've got 8 LED sort of park hands, which are just standard RGB lights, flat, small. I've got a load of them. I've got 8, but I'm getting 8 more soon. They've been ordered, they just got to arrive.
Cool.
2 LED bars, which are like the park hands, but just in bar form.
Yep.
2 sort of strips, 2 blinders, and some truss. That's sort of horizontal, like scaffolding stuff you see up in the theatre. And I've also got this, which just helps me run the show. This is just got a load of
like a lighting, yeah.
And that pairs with this software, which is Titan One by Ava Lights.
Yeah.
It's one of the higher end softwares.
Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. And I guess so. Can you? I guess I've forgotten the names of them already. This is how bad I am with lighting. But the ones you said, some of them are like mechanical, right? As well.
Yeah.
So you can you can presumably program, like set up programs on the software, and then manually use the panel as well to manually control it, right?
So see those
Sweet.
spinning around.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
That's really cool. Yeah, that looks like that's basically a show ready for like a stand-up comedian or someone to go right in the center of stage and take over. Yeah. I mean, do you ever I guess for like someone like Tankus or if you were doing lighting for a friend's band or something like that where you really knew the songs, would you alter the lighting to like fit in with the songs and I don't know, maybe have strobes? Yeah.
One of my last events was an event called a Manhunt Band Night, and the headlining band sent me a set list and what each song, and I knew most of the songs already, so I just sort of went with what they had on the set list and anything I thought would look good.
Cool. So it's almost then, I guess, I mean, I suppose it's like the same thing that a sound guy does in terms of they'll be sitting there like constantly making sure the mix is right. But it's almost like an interpretation as well, I guess with the sound, it's a little more straightforward because you're just trying to make the mix clear or whatever. Whereas with lighting, you kind of have to interpret what's happening on stage, what's happening in the music, and try and keep it relevant.
Oh, actually, going back to the don't go overboard thing.
Yeah.
What you need to try to do is add to the show.
Yeah.
Not take away from it, because there is such thing as too much.
Yeah.
See, if you're going strobe crazy, that's taking away from the show.
Yeah.
You need to add to the atmosphere instead of taking away.
Unless, of course,
it's a load of patterns, a load of strobing, then that's just too much for quite a
yeah.
few things. So you gotta just
Unless, I suppose, there's a good reason for the strobing within the whatever's happening on stage or whatever.
Like,
Yeah.
It tends to be short strobes because too
Yeah.
much can even irritate people who don't have epilepsy.
Yeah, yeah, and I think
it irritate me as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it is just generally irritating, isn't it? Yeah. But I suppose as well, like, you know, if you're keeping the use of it minimal, then it's kind of just making the shows more accessible as well. And yeah, because that'd suck as well. Like, the last thing you would want is for, you know, for the show to be accessible except because of the lighting or whatever. When, as you say, it should be adding to it.
The two physical things that most lighting people hate: epilepsy, and asthma. Asthma, we use haze. Even though it doesn't affect it, people tend to think it does because it's an atmosphere in the air, and people instantly go to the assumption of, oh, it's smoke, I'm gonna get an asthma attack. And epilepsy is the obvious one.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. So we've talked about some of the equipment that you have got. What is some of the equipment that you haven't got but you've got your eye on? Like, what's on your wish list?
Oh, lots actually. Some more higher end moving heads. Actual physical strobe lights instead of using all my other lights as strobes. An Avolite Titan Arena, which is 16 grand.
Fair amount.
It's a big lighting desk, which I really want,
right?
But it's expensive.
Yeah.
Some better parkans. Basically, just the stuff I've got right now, but better.
Yeah, sort of slow upgrades.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's another potential goal, isn't it? Of, like, you know, having your lighting set up and being able to get paid to do lighting gigs, so that you can reinvest the money back into the setup.
That's what I tend to do.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. And what about, like, cables and stuff as well? Because the lighting cables are crazy, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, tell us about your color code system.
Oh yeah. Oh, these are something you end up growing a lot of. They're adapters. So I got standard British plug to the industrial 16 amp and a 15 amp to nothing currently.
Yeah.
But the color coding system, I don't have any cable on me.
Yeah.
But people always think, oh, why don't you just put a label on it with the length on it? Because I can't read things from far away. From a distance, I can see, oh, that's green, that's 3 meters. That's white, that's 5 meters.
Yeah.
My color coding system, blue is 1 meter, green is 3 meter, yellow is 5 meter, red is 10 meter, grey is 20 meter, and white is 30 meter.
That's long, 30 meters.
I that off by heart, which is good.
Cool. One thing I wanted to ask is, because you have quite a musical family as well. So your dad Phil, he plays bass, and will be a sound guy if you ask him nicely.
Yeah.
Your mum's obviously in a band as well. I mean, do you have enough people in your household to put on a full show with sound and lighting? Do you think?
Absolutely.
Have you ever done it?
My family is musical.
Yeah. Is your sister musical?
Ish.
It's good enough.
She's more of an artist.
Oh, cool. Well, that's even better then. So you've got all the stuff for the live show, and then you can get the album cover done as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I think that's pretty much. I might have a couple more things. That's that one. Oh yeah, what are Source 4s and what do people need to know about them? What they're used for?
Source 4. A Source 4 is a long light we call a profile. It has shutters, so you can adjust. You can take it from a circle to, say, a rectangle.
Mm-hmm.
It's got zoom, so you can make it bigger and smaller. and it's also got focus. So again, you can make it bigger or smaller.
Cool. And I guess normally I'd ask like what's next for you, but I guess it's hard to tell with no events really happening. I mean,
college,
100%. Yeah. And would that be from the next academic year, right?
Yeah, that's next academic.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So like September time.
My exams are in June, and then I leave school. I leave secondary school forever.
Yeah. Moving on in the world. Yeah. I mean, have you thought about like university or after college, or would the plan be more to sort of get in at the like the more practical side and start actually doing shows and stuff?
At the moment, university isn't on my mind.
Yeah.
And with my college, a lot of students end up going straight into the industry through companies that the college works with.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I think it sounds pretty practical to me. It's like I think it's more in a weird way, like you're being more specific. You're kind of being more specific with what you're going to go into at college than most people are when they are at uni, you know? So it's a bit like when people do like vocational degrees and like come out and they know how to be an electrician or whatever, you know?
That was Gideon Rainey in conversation with me, Dane Cobain. I am your host. This is The Art Show on 106.6 FM at Wickham Sound. And it's time for a little bit more music. So this is a tune that was sent in by Tom Bradley. He sent us some music before and we played some of that, and he's got this new tune which is a new demo of his called Don't Care Anymore. So this is Don't Care Anymore by Tom Bradley.
Broken memories, tiny tragedies, lead me back now to loving you. And every time I blink, hesitate to think why I'm still in love with you. 'Cause every time I look away, there's a price I have to pay. 'Cause you are the one I'm thinking about tomorrow, and I need a second chance for you to come and help me fall away beneath your shadow and let me fall in love with you now, honey. Looking at the sky, screaming, asking why everything happened the way it did. I'm still in love with you and swear my heart's still true. All I wanna do for you. 'Cause every time I look away, there's a price I have to pay. 'Cause you are the one I'm thinking about tomorrow, and I need a second chance for you. Come and help me fall away beneath my shadow and help me fall in love with you, oh honey. So baby, come on now and kiss me. Every day I have since I'm in you. Been a bumpy road, but I know that you miss me. 'Cause every time I look away, there's a feeling I could stay. It's you. Tomorrow, and I need a second chance for you to come and help me fall away beneath the shadow and help me fall in love with you now, honey. You are the one I'm thinking about tomorrow, and I need a second chance for you to come and help me fall away beneath the shadow and help me falling up with you now, honey.
Just the flu. We hear people say it every year. But if you're pregnant, there's no just about it. Flu is a virus that can cause harm to you and to your baby. That's why we offer you the flu vaccine free. It's the very best protection for the both of you. Ask your pharmacist, GP or midwife about your free flu vaccine. NHS. We're here to help you protect against flu. Help us help you.
All your business questions answered. Throughout April, HW Bidco will be hosting a series of webinars for local businesses. Join our panel of legal, HR and finance experts who are giving away their advice for free to help businesses navigate the COVID-19 challenges ahead. The first webinar takes place on Wednesday the 8th of April at 3 p.m. For more information and to register, visit the website hwbidco.co.uk.
We followed government advice and set our team up to work remotely. We have taken all the steps we can to keep our team safe so we can be here for you.
That was Turning Point by Jessica Williamson, and before that we had Don't Care Anymore by Tom Bradley. You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound. I am your host, Dane Cobain. I just wanted to give you a little bit more information about the last artist, Jessica Williamson. She's sent us a bio, so I'm going to go into that. She says, "Hi Dane, I'm Jessica Williamson from High Wycombe. I've studied graphic design and music tech in Amersham and Wycombe College, been there for 6 years. I work as a graphic designer for MuseScore as my job, but on the side I do music. I've produced 3 albums, my latest one called Embrace the Storm. I go by as a pianist. I don't normally sing, but it's piano-based music with hard rock. Evanescence was my big influence growing up, so that's where the sound stemmed from. And you can also find her on Spotify, Apple Music, etc, etc. One other thing I wanted to share with you as well, I almost missed it out of the news section earlier. I used to live in the flat below a guy called Tom Humphreys, who's the bassist for a band called Superlord, and they have a new EP out, so they've posted to say, "Super excited to announce finally the release of our long-awaited EP. On all good streaming platforms, also available on our Bandcamp. It's been a long, arduous process, but through lockdowns, babies and general hair entanglement, we've managed to push through and deliver this tame beast to you. Please support the band if you can, all you high-flying space rockers out there." And so the album is called Superlord vs Gargantuan. So good luck to those guys with that. We're hopefully going to be talking to the band on a future show as well. And now it's over to Twangling Jack Ford in the Ilk Shed for this week's album review. Over to you, Twangling Jack.
Frank Zappa was one of the most important musical figures of the last century, and also one of the most prolific. I probably own over 80 of his CDs. It was hard to choose just one, and I have gone with One Size Fits All, the last album credited to the Mothers of Invention. Imagine a blue-eyed soul song about extraterrestrial visitors. Imagine sound effects and silly voices. Imagine a long wah-wah electric guitar solo, jazz piano solo, virtuoso marimba vibes playing intricate pieces in challenging time signatures, speeded up baroque harpsichord and operatic singing. And that is just the first number, and it's not some lengthy prog opus, but just one of the many songs on the album. He possessed a lyrical dexterity that enabled him over his career to challenge everything, even time itself. He made jokes of everything, including himself, and put these jokes to some serious challenging music. He was mostly interested in fusing rock with classical, jazz and comedy, but just about anything can turn up, including, on another album, a reggae version of Ravel's Bolero. On this album there is one song that starts out as a country waltz interspersed with a German drinking song, which builds up into a grand Broadway-type choral finale, as the singers sing, "Ich bin hier und du bist mein Sofa," as magnificent as it is nonsensical, though SOFA is an anagram of the starting letters of One Size Fits All. Theories abound over just about everything he ever did, and even decades after his death, he is still quoted in Facebook memes. One Size Fits All, Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention.
So that pretty much brings us to the end of this week's show. My name is Dane Cobain. You've been listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM at Wickham Sound. Thanks as always for listening in. Feel free to reach out to me here at the studio. You can email me on dane.cobain@wickhamsound.org.uk. That's dane.cobain@wickhamsound.org.uk. You can also find us on Facebook if you just search for The Art Show on Wickham Sound. I'm going to play you out now with a band we mentioned earlier. So this is Superlord with The Wait. Great tune. I'll see you next week.